Well, an intensive reading program can be a good opportunity to teach cohesive devices. So apart from grammar, well, this is part of grammar, we can develop students' understanding of the cohesive devices. And again, before I begin, I would just like to emphasize that teaching any feature of the grammar or teaching any form of the vocabulary should be done in a contextualized manner, right? I mean, the sentences or the words they occur in a specific context. So let's have a look at the example how we can teach cohesive devices to our students through an intensive reading program. Well, we've got a very, very important book by Halliday and Hassan, which is Cohesion in English, and that's worth reading, and I would strongly suggest you to read that book. That's available online. So they give various models of teaching cohesive devices to EFL students through intensive reading. So let's have a look at some of the activities which we as being EFL teachers or ESL teachers can bring in. Well, cohesion is about, how the reference words or the substitution words or ellipses or comparison, or sort of these give a coherent whole to the passage. So their usefulness in a passage actually. So in order to teach cohesive devices, I mean, some words which connect the text and give a coherent whole to the structure of the syntax or the sentences. So they are easy to make and help students understand the language in a meaningful way. So there could be some reference words, for example, and substitutes, for example. We've got the example of he, she, his, her, this, that, these, those. So these are some reference words. So instead of repeating the name again and again, for example, Aslam said and Aslam went to school, or Aslam. So he went to school. We've got these reference words which we can teach through cohesive devices. So, and it's important to remember that each reference word has its own grammar, and that particular reference word should be taught in the context in which it takes place. So grammar is, of course, that serves the basis to teach, to do the exercises. So, for example, we can bring in an exercise in which we have the use of there, as you can see here. That refers to the plural verbs, and we can bring in the exercise in which we've got the use of this, which refers to the singular nouns or phrase or clause. And then we can bring in an exercise where we have the use of he, which usually refers to a singular male person. So there are various ways of teaching cohesive devices. But putting the students into pairs or groups and engaging them, giving them the passage and asking them to make note of the cohesive devices and how these cohesive devices are used in a particular text to give a coherence or the meaningful structure to the passage is important.